Hello, and we are in module 8, restricting user to enter specific data in a cell. So far we learned how to give a drop down option to the user to select from the list of data that you want him to enter. Now let's see what else we can do. For that purpose, I'm going to use form I have created called employee joining form. So in this particular form, I'm going to explain various criteria which you can apply for data validation. So let's begin with the first one, which is date of joining. We'll assume that you will give this particular form to the employee only after joining, which means that date should be either that day, which is today, or less than that. So let's see how to apply this. We'll go to this cell by clicking here, go to data on the main menu tab and click on data validation, again on data validation, and we are going to select date as the criteria. And the date has to be less than or equal to today. So let me explain first how to use today's date in computer. For that there is a ready formula available and you get that by typing equal to and typing today and opening and closing bracket and hitting enter. So 7th Feb is today's date. Let me apply the data validation for this. So we go to data validation, again data validation. We are going to select date as the option for validation criteria, and it should be less than or equal to, and I'm going to enter equal to today. Let's type 5th Feb, which is fine because it is earlier than 7th Feb. Now if I try to type 8th Feb, it's going to give me error. And you know how to handle this error message. You can write your own error message as well as you can write a prompting message here when the user comes here. So let's quickly write that error message. We are going to go to data validation and go to error message. You need not have input message all the time. However, it is important to have a correct error message so that the user comes to know what exactly is the error. So we are going to type here and we are going to click on OK. So now if someone enters a future date, he is going to get the error message and explain what exactly he needs to do. The next validation criteria is for the birth date, and the person should be at least 18 years old on the date of joining. So how do we perform calculations on dates? For that, let's first figure out what are the options available. So let's go to FX where we select formula. Come here in select a category field, click for the drop down and select date and time. Here you will find various options available for the function related to date and time. For example, the first one, date, it returns you a date if you enter year, month and day, these three parameters. Next is, for example, date value or day. This is going to give you a day within a month. Similarly, there are lots of functions available. You can go through them and see how you will use it. Let me explain you in this particular example what we are going to do. What is our criteria? The person should be at least 18 years old on the date of joining. That means if the date of joining is 5th Feb 2018, he should have born at least on or latest on 5th Feb 2000, which is 18 years less. So we need to first calculate that date, which is exactly 18 years before the date of joining. So that date is the same day, same month, but 18 years less. So let's calculate that. So first we are going to break down this date into day, month and year. For that we are going to use the formula first day and we open the bracket, and here you will immediately see what is the parameter. So in this parameter we have to enter a date or a date serial number which Microsoft recognizes, but you don't have to bother about it. You can simply enter a date or select a cell which has a date. So we are going to select this cell and close the bracket. That date is 5. Next we are going to end out the month. So we are going to type month, open bracket, and once again select this cell. Now if you do not know how to use this formula by typing, click on the cell, click on FX, and then we are going to look for year, click on year, okay, and it's going to open up the formula function field. And we are going to select this cell and click OK. So now you have the three different parameters of this date, which is day, month, year. And now let's calculate the date, which was 18 years from 5th Feb. So that would be, we will use the function. Okay, let me use it instead of typing, use it from here so that you know fx. And I'm going to use this function date where we can enter the three parameters. Okay, and the first one, year. So in year parameter, it should be this year less 18. So we can enter a formula here in these options. Here they have already given you the answer. So that day, year should be 2000. Next is month, which is the same month as this. Day will be the same month, same day as this one. And we're going to hit OK. So this gives us the reference date. So the employee should be, his birth date should be latest of 5th Feb 2000 or earlier than this. That means in Microsoft calculation, a date earlier than a current date is a date less than. A date later than a current date or a future date is a date which is greater than. So we are going to write a validation criteria here. Data validation, we will select date as the option and we will select less than or equal to this date which we arrived at based on the date of joining, and we click OK. So if someone enters a date later than 5th Feb, let's say 6th Feb 2000, then he will get an error and you will have to customize this error message. We will cancel this and we will try a valid date, let's say, and it will get accepted. And this is going to dynamically change based on the date of joining. So if someone enters a date of 6th Feb or let's say 1st Feb 2017, then the date is going to accordingly change and the formula will accordingly change. Now, if you see this particular date, 4th Feb 2000 is greater than 1st Feb 1999, ideally it should have given you an error, but it didn't because this was already entered earlier when this date was different. And at that point in time, there was no error as per the data validation criteria. That means Excel applies the data validation criteria at the time of data entry and not later. You can always have a workaround to create an error message here based on a double check. You will learn this when you learn more complex if formulas in the coming modules. So play around with the date and time options in function field here and see what is useful for you.